Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a huge paradox that's playing out in businesses everywhere. Why is it that after spending a fortune on the most advanced AI, your company still feels kind of slow? Well, the secret isn't about buying a better AI engine. It's about completely rebuilding the organizational carriage it's supposed to be pulling. Let's get into it. So let's be real. Your company went out and got all the latest AI tools. Sure, reports are getting generated faster, maybe the marketing copy writes itself, but are decisions happening any quicker? Is the business actually stronger? In fact, does management feel even more complicated than before? If you're nodding your head right now, you are not alone. This is a super common and frankly frustrating reality of the AI era. There's actually a name for this gap between what you spend and what you get. It's called the AI productivity paradox. You're pouring money into the tech, but the core of your organization, the part that actually makes you competitive, isn't getting any stronger. So why is this happening? Let's break it down. The root cause of this whole paradox is something we can call fake prosperity. This is what happens when AI gets stuck doing tasks on the edges of the business, writing emails, summarizing meetings, but it's totally disconnected from the critical core workflows. It creates this shiny, impressive-looking illusion of progress, but underneath, nothing has fundamentally changed about how your organization actually works. And this is the day-to-day reality for so many companies. Yeah, AI is helping with some individual stuff, for sure, but the big results, the faster decisions, the more agile organization, they just aren't showing up. And that's because AI is being treated like a fancy new intern, not like a core team member that's wired into the company's operational DNA. And look, this isn't just a theory. This insight from OpenAI really hits the nail on the head. The bottleneck isn't the AI's IQ anymore. The real challenge, the hard part, is how we design, govern, and actually run AI agents inside our companies. The problem has officially shifted from being a tech problem to a deep, deep organizational one. To really wrap our heads around this organizational problem, we need a good metaphor. And the one I think works best is this idea of a fatal structural mismatch, putting a powerful engine on an old-fashioned, horse-drawn carriage. Just picture it. You take a massive jet engine, that's your shiny new AI, and you strap it to a rickety wooden horse carriage. That's your current business structure. What do you think happens? Does the carriage magically go faster? No way. It shatters into a million pieces. And that is exactly what's happening when we try to jam these incredibly powerful AI tools into old, rigid, outdated ways of working. Okay, so if the old structure is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's not a simple fix. It actually calls for a fundamental shift in how we even define productivity. We need a whole new formula. For decades, think about it. The basic unit of work was pretty simple. It was additive. One human plus one tool. And so management just focused on the human part of that equation. But today, the whole game has changed. It's now a human times an AI agent times compute. And that's not addition anymore, folks. That is a massive multiplier effect. That little shift from a plus sign to a multiplication sign changes absolutely everything. It means you're not just giving someone a better hammer. You're creating this dynamic, interconnected system where every piece, the person, the AI, the processing power, dramatically amplifies the others. You simply cannot manage this new reality with old rules. It demands an entirely new operating system for your organization. So, once you accept this new formula, leadership has to face some really tough, but totally unavoidable questions. You can think of it as a governance gauntlet that every CEO has to run through if they want to make AI actually work. All right, first question. Where is the context? Think about it like this. You have an AI agent tasked with optimizing your supply chain. It sees data suggesting a cheaper supplier. Great. But what it doesn't know is the unwritten rule. Your current, more expensive supplier is a critical strategic partner, and their CEO has been golfing with your board for 10 years. All that crucial business context is locked away in people's heads in old email threads. Without it, your AI is flying completely blind. The second question, and yeah, this one can get pretty sensitive, is where is the boundary? How much power, how much autonomy do you actually give to an AI agent? For example, are you comfortable with an AI approving a wire transfer? Up to what amount? What if it was trained on old data and it offers a loyal client a discount that accidentally violates your brand new pricing policy? Deciding where those lines are, that's not a tech problem. That's a deep question of risk, trust, and corporate governance. And the final question, what is the mechanism? How do humans and AI actually work together? So imagine a human marketing expert and an AI agent looking at the same campaign data. The AI spots a trend that seems totally counterintuitive to the human's 20 years of experience. Who gets the final say? What's the process for working that out? If you don't have a new playbook for this, you're not going to get acceleration. You're going to get confusion and gridlock. So answering these three questions forces a really radical change in what it even means to be a leader. The traditional role of the manager, well, it's becoming obsolete. A completely new role has to emerge. And this is the critical point. The manager's job is going through a massive, epic upgrade. We're moving away from just supervising people to becoming a system orchestrator, someone who designs these complex, hybrid human-AI teams. So, as a system architect, a manager's new job really has three core functions. First, they have to define context. Figure out how to get all that deep company knowledge out of people's heads and make it available to the AI. Second, they have to design permissions, carefully building the guardrails and the rules for how AI agents can operate. And third, they orchestrate collaboration, writing the new playbook for how this powerful trio of humans, agents, and compute can work together seamlessly. And that brings us to the big finish. We have to completely reframe what the AI race is all about. Because the real race, well, it isn't what most people think it is. This right here, this is the single most important idea I want you to walk away with. The future isn't going to be won by the companies that were the first to buy AI. It's going to be won by the companies that were the first to rewrite their entire organization to actually leverage it. So please, let this be a final warning. Trying to use AI to just build a faster version of your old organization while keeping all your old structures and processes is a strategy that is absolutely doomed to fail. You'll just end up with a faster, more dangerous horse carriage that's about to fly apart. So I'll leave you with this one question. The technology is here. It's getting more powerful every single day. The real work is no longer about implementation. It's about imagination and reinvention. So, are you ready to stop just using AI and start rewriting your organization?